So nearly 325. What else you got there?
Well, let's do When Marnie Was There, because I just love this to pieces. This is a Ghibli adaptation of Joan G. Robinson's book. I mean, Ghibli have this extraordinary I suppose we should be doing this in the past tense, because they are nominally, well, they are at the moment, they're not making new stuff, and who knows how that situation is going to resolve. I mean, to all intents and purposes, this is kind of, the operation has wrapped up. So if you look at, for example, Hayao Miyazaki's Howl's Moving Castle, which is adapted from Diana Wynne Jones's novel, or actually Goro Miyazaki's Tales from Earthsea, which I thought was really good, but people didn't like that so much, but I thought it was great, from Ursula Le Guin, or Arrietty, which is from The Borrowers. So now this from Hiromasa Yonebayashi, which, as I said, is based on the John G. Robinson book. Which, did you ever read that? Did you ever read When Marnie Was There?
You know, when you ask me a question?
Yeah, the answer always no.
The answer's always no.
Okay, so the story in the original form, it's transported here from Norfolk to modern day Hokkaido, and the story is a young introverted girl is sent to stay with her foster mum's cousins at a sort of seaside, a remote seaside place where there is in the distance there is a house, marsh house, that she becomes sort of fascinated by and drawn to, and she thinks she sees lights on in the marsh house, and marsh house unlocks this unexpected friendship with a girl that she meets called Marnie. And the film is about the way, and the story is about the way in which their friendship grows. And as it grows, it sort of comes to, it's about the way in which their characters develop. And yet all the way through, the sense is Marnie a ghostly presence? Is Marnie an imaginary presence? Is Marnie a real presence? Is Marnie a projection? What is she? Here's a clip.
I need to get back. At this hour, I'm usually tucked up in bed asleep. Come on, I'll row you back.
So it actually was your boat?
Of course. I left it for you on purpose. But I thought you'd be able to row a little better.
Honestly, I thought I could too.
You know, you're my precious secret. I haven't told anyone about you, and I never will. If someone finds out, they'll only spoil it. Please, Anna, promise me something. That will remain a secret. Forever. Forever.
So the dub version features the voices of Hailee Steinfeld, Catherine O'Hara, Gina Davis, John C. Reilly, Ellen Burstyn. Although I have to say that I saw the film in its original language with subtitles, and my one recommendation would be that if you are somebody who, for whatever reason, is comfortable with subtitles, I would urge you to seek out the original language version, because to my ear, it has that's how I prefer it. That said, if you're not somebody who, for whatever reason, wants to see a subtitle film, then the Ghibli dubs are all pretty decent. I haven't seen the dubbed version. I saw the original subtitled version, and I loved it. It's one of those things. It's a magical story. It's a story which is kind of heartbreaking, but also uplifting. It's about loneliness. It's about the way in which somebody finds themselves through discovering a friendship that, as I said, the exact nature of which is unclear, which is something which is such a recurrent theme in children's literature. You think, it reminded me to some extent of Tom's Midnight Garden in the way that story plays out. There's also, weirdly enough, there are a couple of moments in it in which there's one particular shot which is almost like a very specific joke about a sort of Hitchcock shot. And I loved the animation. I loved the sense of texture, the sense of love, the sense of attention that went into the on-screen drawing. But most importantly, I love the fact that it's an animation that is absolutely would satisfy audiences across the board, whether young or old alike. And we talked before about Inside Out, and the reason that I loved Inside Out so much, Inside Out obviously was a 3D CG animation, And so this is not to do with, one art form being better than another. I mean, everyone knows I loved Tale of Princess Kaguya, which is, so hand-drawn and kind of charcoal and watercolours. But at the same time, I absolutely loved Inside Out. What I love about this is it's a film that anyone can go and see and enjoy and get something different out of. And I'm sure that the different ages will take different things away from the story. But it is a beautiful time, the story, with the exception of that sort of geographical shift, which has been made for obvious reasons. It's very, very true to the spirit of the source, and I think some people have thought that it was somewhat slighter than some Ghibli productions, but I disagreed. I was enchanted by it. I loved it. I was swept up in the world of it. I loved the characters. I believed in their pain, and I believed in their sort of persistence, and I just smiled all the way through. And in a week in which it's Mother's Day and The Boss and that sort of stuff, you just think this is what cinema is about.